and now it's time for us to deliberate. So yes, today we're talking about sex for favors in general, and we're all going to give our perspectives. I'd like to ask you guys, what do you guys think about this whole sex for favors thing? The whole idea of sex for favors, what is your own perspective? Starting with Brian. Brian, I'd like to hear what you have to say.
Okay, I think both parties are largely guilty to the fault, especially for the men. Well, I think that for the guys, there should be some restraints. Yes, women can be very persuasive. Hey, I need this favor. Oh, I can't give it to you. This is done. I'm already giving it to someone else. Or you're not qualified enough for this. And then, while most of the time it's men that say, hey, if you want to get it, you can do this to get this. And then some of the time it's the women that say, okay, I'm willing to do anything to get it. So when it comes to that point, I think the responsibility falls on the guy to say, no, I'm not going to allow you to get it. And the guy should not even offer, should not even ask. Don't ask.
That actually brings us to the place where we have to compare like sex for favors and mutually consensual sex because of favors. So yes. So since you say it's only the guy now, it could be mutual, but then it's tailored towards.
If it's mutual, then it's business, and it's still sex for favor. Prostitutes gives consensual sex, yeah, but if you look at it, prostitute needs money can be somebody's favor, right? And they don't have, a woman doesn't have to stand on the road. She can need 20,000 naira and a guy invites her to her house and say, if I was sleep with you, you give me this 20,000 naira. Don't deal. He sleeps with her and gives her 20,000 naira. That's prostitution. But it's still sex for people.
I need to put it this way. If someone comes to me and says, Brian, I need this and I don't have money, please sleep with me. No matter how much pressure she's under, once I agree, I have taken advantage of that situation. So it's either I have the money to give her for it, or I look for some other way to help her. Except sleeping with her. Once sex is involved, it's sex for people. Whether she voluntarily offers it or I request it, it's the same thing. It's, yes, you could say it's mutually, yes, okay, let's have sex and I give you this. But once there's a condition underlying it, then it becomes sex for favor.
Sex for favors and prostitution are not the same thing, okay? Because prostitutes go into that whole sexual encounter like with a clear mind. I am going to offer you sex for money.
I think I have like a lot of objections to what you have to say. The fact that you're saying something about, oh, she's asking for sex and stuff like that. I am going to talk about from my own perspective. Right. I have a lot of female friends. I have a lot of sisters, right? Mm-hmm. A lot of people who have been put in situations whereby, I don't like to use the word sexually harassed, but
it is what it is.
Exactly, right? So 9 times out of 10, okay, let me say 8 times out of 10, because there's always that 2 times or something like that. When a woman is going to look for a job, she's going to look for a role, an acting role or anything, basically. She's basically making an effort. Not necessarily with, okay, you know what, yeah, I'm going to go and I'll meet the boss or I'll meet the director to have sex with him. Well, let me tell you what I also think. 8 times out of 10, because there's always that 2 times, right? Mm-hmm. It's always the man coming onto the woman.
Yeah, I was going to come to that angle, victimization.
No, I haven't said that men do not actually offer. Yes, I can say maybe 7 times out of 10.
Do you even know your own species, like your own gender? I don't think you do.
6 would be stretching it too far. But let's agree, 8 times out of 10, it is a men who want to take advantage of women.
Okay.
I perfectly agree.
Yeah.
I perfectly agree. But those two other times actually negate all the efforts women make in making sure that men stop demanding. Because we talk about sex for grades, and yes, there are students who still go to lecturers that are not even interested in sleeping with them. And so when the students do these things, it actually takes back all the efforts.
Nah, sorry, but talking about that 1%, right? Mm-hmm. Talking about that 1% and trying to say, okay, because of this 1%, the other 99%, you are making what they have done useless or pointless.
No, I'm not saying it's useless.
I can agree with Brian.
Are you trying to justify it?
I'm not saying it's useless. I'm just saying that this thing, everybody has to come and say, okay, this is bad.
Okay.
Women should stop using sex to get favors, number one.
Okay.
And men should definitely stop asking women for sex to
Okay,
give
so
them
the thing
favors.
is, I personally, there was this one time somebody was telling me that girls, sometimes when they don't have money to pay Uber drivers, they offer sex.
Yeah, it's real.
That sounded so absurd to me.
But it's real.
The fact that it sounded absurd to me made the person a little bit confused, like he didn't know. And it's not the first time. There was one time I wanted to get a job and somebody was like, meet me in my hotel room. I was like, for what now? He was
Sorry.
like, what kind of question is that? Some people actually feel like it's a norm, like it's
Like it's something in
Sorry.
society.
get
You
it,
know this
understand.
thing.
A lot of ladies actually very
I'm sorry.
open-minded.
I have a lot of issues with what you guys are
jobs,
saying.
you know, when they go out to get jobs, they're open-minded. They're like, if you have something to do,
I think we're just trying to draw a balance
Yes,
here.
yeah.
Women actually offer sex.
I think women actually offer.
and then men also
It
are.
happens. But let me tell you, yeah, I have been, how will I put it? Okay, let me explain something, yeah. I've been in situations whereby not once, not twice, not 3 times or however, most of the times when I find myself working in a Nigerian office or for a Nigerian company or stuff like that, I don't think I've ever been on the side where I'll say, okay, no, I'm going to try to get sex from this man.
I
said okay, I'm still, please let me land. Okay, basically, yeah, what I'm trying to say is, I have a lot of female friends, right? I have a lot of female friends, a lot of, I don't know, would I say family members or something? Let me just say I have a lot of females in my life, yeah? How will I put it? When you are basically above someone else, like you're their boss, you're someone you're supposed to get jobs from, or you're supposed to give them a role or anything like that. You know what? Yeah, I'm even tired of even saying 8 times out of 10, 9.5 times out of 10. It is you that is in power. You have power. Emphasis on power. Let me tell you.
I didn't disagree.
Wait.
When I did my introduction, I said that yes, men are guilty, because even when women offer sex, you should decline and say, no, madam, you're not going to get this. Because once you encourage that culture, she's going to go somewhere else. She'll feel like, okay, yes, this my body can get me whatever I want. So if I can get a job from Brian, I can get a contract from Mr. Hassan, I can get this simply with my body. So that's why men have to discourage such behavior. That's what I was saying. But I'm saying that it happens.
That's my point here. There's 2 sides to a coin. And honestly, I can see that Hope is a feminist.
Oh my God.
I'm also a feminist.
Pause.
Yes, I'm a feminist.
Well, yeah. Before we go any further, let's take a quick break.
We're talking about the situation where people offer sex for favors, especially men and women. Hope here and Brian, they've been on each other's neck. But we have another guest with us, Sanasi, right? Welcome on the program. Thank you. So you're going to have to tell us what you think about, not necessarily, but I just need you to weigh in on the topic because you were not here when we started, so you just joined in now. We're talking about people offering sex for favors and any institution at all, be it the workplace, religious institution, or wherever. But it's a trending topic. It's what's happening, relatable to everybody. Both the youth suffer it, even the elderly suffer it. But then, so what do you think about all of this?
Firstly, I don't think we can put an end to it.
Okay.
But I think we should try to minimize the occurrence of such in our institutions. And Nigerian, we are lacking a lot. Most organizations don't have sexual health advisors that will give them policies on this is what you should do when somebody harasses somebody sexually in the workplace. Or if something happens, people are raped daily in their workplace. What happens after them?
Sorry, I need to also say something. Do you guys realize how we're basically stereotyping, the boss is a man and the girl asking for a job is a woman or something? Yeah, also female bosses, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, also
I'm
female
glad they
bosses.
don't sing this.
See, let me put it like this.
I guess she's not a feminist
And this,
after all.
the way I am here is like this. The main issue or the main topic for discussion is bosses basically taking advantage of their workers or their employees for what? Trying to gain sexual favors. That is it. Talking about the other side of things, yeah? I don't know. I feel like it's just like saying, okay, this man is beating this woman. As for example, yeah, this man is beating this woman. He's literally pummeling her. You can see her bruising, crying. But all you guys care about is asking, what did she do? Or just wait. Or even when you see a woman, let me be like, even when you see a woman slapping
what she
man,
said,
yeah,
she said something which I really, really agree to. She said it cannot end, and we can only try to minimize it. I don't really think it can be minimized. Okay, maybe we can minimize it. You know why it cannot end? When you say favor, what type of favor? Okay, the women that stand on the road at night,
yeah,
they're looking for financial favor,
okay,
no matter what you call it.
Yeah.
And so there's a transaction, and that financial favor is granted. Although they get to negotiate how much of that finance is worth. So it's
you are going outside the topic.
No.
You cannot be talking about a prostitute.
Let me finish.
Sex favor.
Okay, guys.
It's the same thing.
Sex favors for
It's the same thing.
It is not the same thing.
Let me tell you why it's the same thing.
She is standing on the road as an ashawo trying to get money for it.
Okay, chill, guys.
It is different from trying to get
Let me tell you why it's the same thing.
It's not like exactly. Why are you going to stand on the road knowing that
It's a business. It's a business.
Yes, you don't add prostitutes. Leave them to do their profession. Just leave them.
It's a business, fine.
Okay.
But I'm saying that, like you said, that 2 out of 10.
Okay.
That 2 out of 10 that are not on the road, that are
Oh my God, stop talking
they are
about
using their
prostitutes.
money.
Leave ashewos alone. Leave their business alone for Pete's sake.
They are also doing some kind of
leave ashewos alone.
yes. And if they are not women on the road selling their bodies, putting some economic value
Leave
on it,
ashewos
I don't think
out of
anybody
this.
would see a woman and want to get some sexual value from
On a
her.
lighter note, we all know there's not just prostitutes. We have rose girls.
They're the same thing.
We have sugar mummies.
They'll be the same. No,
Oh my
but
God,
sugar
let me
We also have the gigolos, yeah,
The
right?
gigolos,
So there's like
gigolos,
different,
prostitutes, they're the
there's
same thing.
different people that achieve favors for sex at different levels.
But they
And
are- but they're the
honestly,
same
there are men that don't mind giving any woman money as long as she's open to having sex with them. We all know that. In fact, most men will be annoyed that they're giving a woman that is not sleeping with them money. They'll be like, okay, I want the money I gave her. She, or really asking for money.
I'm saying that the reason why that's subconscious is in men is because women have placed economic value on their bodies. If nobody was selling sex, nobody would be buying it.
Are you a woman to say women have placed economic value on their own bodies?
I'm saying, okay, I'm sorry for using women. Prostitute.
Leave prostitutes alone. It's their body. They sat down in their right state of mind. They thought of it. I will give my body for money because I have limited options.
Some women have
I think you should
turned
say
their
some women.
some women have
Some women do not
have
make
turned their
things
bodies to
easy.
some
God.
commercial enterprise. So once there's a market for stuff,
Okay.
once there's someone selling the product, they'll be able to buy it. If there's no woman standing on the road, there'll be no question for it. That's number one. Secondly, once that culture slowly dies, men look at, oh, there's no way I can pay for sex.
It looks like
There's no-
something is going to burst anytime. Alright.
9 times out of 10, when a woman is engaging in sex for favor, usually it's because the man has demanded it. Okay? Some women are fine working and earning money.
Your question is if they are the same thing, consensual sex
Yeah,
and sex
exactly.
for favor. Well, consensual sex, two consenting adults
For favors.
for favors.
Yes.
Then if nobody is benefiting anything from that transaction, from that,
No, think about it, Brian.
I'm trying
You
to.
guys are in the office. Hope is your boss because we can't make you boss because this make Hope
Can I fall in love with
Let your boss.
Can I fall in love with hope?
Okay, let's say, okay.
No favor is attached, but we are consenting.
Okay, let's
And then
say,
maybe because she's in love with me, she
Okay.
gives me a promotion. Is that possible?
yes.
So is that sex for favor?
I don't know what it is. That's why I'm asking the question.
That's so, and I'm
That's
saying.
not sex for favor
That's
now.
what.
For sex for favor to happen, the sex must happen.
Well,
We're dating very long.
think about it.
Giving you preferential treatment it's not sex for favor.
It's what?
If the sex is not involved now.
Sex is involved. They are dating. There must be
We are dating.
That's just preferential treatment.
Okay,
Sex
so
for favors is more of like, I don't
What
really
if-
have any.
What if
I
this
don't
guy does
care.
not exactly have feelings for her? But because she's divorced and she's obviously she's
So I manipulated.
I mean, he is doing the sex for favor. He's doing the sex for favor.
What are you training to use their body to do what? Men use their body to do. Some women.
But we know that if there are 100 women, if there are 100 men, you likely find more women than men using their body.
Oh my God. Okay, so that's it, ready. What type of women have you been meeting?
You only
I'm
see
in
the part
Nigeria.
where you see the women. Men who come out and tell you, I slept with her for her to give me information. But ladies, we have friends, so we tell our friends will tell other friends. That's how you take
Okay, I want to ask you this honestly. Between men and women, yes, I know men are likely to demand. Men demand. Let's use the word offer. Between men and women, which gender is most likely to offer sex to get
You
something?
are asking me manipulating.
I'm not asking you. I'm not manipulating. I'm just asking you because it's fighting me.
Oh, I don't want
No. I think women offer. Some women offer.
Okay,
Very small percentage, but they do offer.
Okay. So do you guys think in relationships there's sex for favors? Like you're dating somebody. So just think about it.
Yes.
I think there's times when it happens.
I think sex for favor is sexual harassment on the person that demands it or the person that won't accept the offer.
Yeah, but if you're dating
harassing
somebody,
the
for
person.
instance, okay, you're dating somebody, and maybe, okay, the person is asking for like 100K, and we're talking about it, okay, you did not give me the first week, you did not give me the second week, you're saying you don't have, then we've been having sex, but when told me my man, I'm like, do it to the point where this guy will give me that money. And then people do this. I've heard that women during intercourse sometimes they actually ask for stuff.
And then maybe the guy, he's not thinking about
Because you
something.
know, so when that happens, what do we call that?
Well, I don't think there's an adjective to.
Yeah, because okay, can we still qualify that as sex for favors? Because I think that
I think the famous thing comes when there's an agreement. This
So
is
you're
what
saying there's no
we're
such thing as sex for favors in relationships? Is that what you're saying?
Oh, for sex for favor? No, it happens now. No, that one happens.
Okay.
But
I'm
is it
still
for sex
going
for
back.
favor already happens?
I'm still going back to the fact that he keeps bringing attention to. Oh my God, it's more women demanding sex. It's more women offering sex.
I'm not saying that men don't demand. I'm saying yes, of course, everybody knows that men are the culprits, are the major culprits. Men demand for sex in exchange for favors. And I'm still saying that women offer more. No, I'm not saying no. I'm saying that I said that women are more likely to offer sex.
On what grounds? Where is the fact?
Offer.
Where is the fact?
But then, when you are giving us facts, I think you should back it up with statistics.
Let me tell you something. Pause.
As a man ever
Let me
approached you
pause.
and said, hey, hi, can I
Pause,
see
Brian.
and give you stuff?
I've listened to you. Can I speak? Thank you. I'm going to give you an example here during NYSC. Yeah, it's not just once. It's not just twice. Yeah, I have been sexually harassed multiple times by my bosses.
I know, and of course.
Oh my God! That's the same thing with let me speak.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then so during NYC, yeah, I had like when I say family house, I rented with like other girls, and we had like our rooms. Yeah. Every of my friend or every girl I was basically, I had something to do, like when I say I had something to do with, I lived with or something like that. We're almost facing something similar. And then even the ones that I had CDS with were facing something similar. I started a job, I got a job at one bank or something in this Abuja here. I started, and do you know I got 3 different types of sexual harassment in one day? I didn't go back. It happens very often. When you open your mouth to say, okay, you know what, yeah, I'm going to try to make men asking for sex and everything look like it doesn't happen. And then I'm